Hi everyone, it's just gone 5:45 in the evening South African time. You're watching Good for the Game TV. I'm Brent Graham and we're going to be talking golf today, and in particular the PGA Tour's Northern Trust Open. Joining me to have a look at this particular event and also talk, of course, about the betting is Brad Bernstein. Brad, good to have you back on the show.
Hi, Brent. Great to be back again.
Looks like different surrounds for you. You're at the office still.
Yeah, it's a normal day to finish around this time, but I also thought the internet connection is better at work, so I may as well do the interview here.
I must say, you definitely look clearer to me today than you have on any of the other broadcasts we've done. So, big week this week. Of course, we're moving to the FedExCup Playoffs, the top 125 players going through. And then after this, the top 100 players go through to what I think is now the Dell Technologies. It used to be called the Deutsche Bank. And that, I think, is next week. So plenty to play for, certainly for those guys on the fringes, but also for the top boys to get themselves in position.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's actually, there's quite a few of the big boys aren't playing this week. Ricky Fowler and Rory McIlroy, who were in the top 125 and aren't playing. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be the end of the FedEx for them. Yeah,
that could possibly be, but still looking down the betting list here, I've got to say, Brad, it has almost like a major feel to it. If you look at the top, you've got DJ, you've got Spieth, you've got Thomas. So I mean, there's plenty of quality on display. Do you think we're going to get a big name winner this week, or is it an event where we should be looking further down the boards?
So it's quite interesting. It's a very, very strong field with everyone's trying to get points, and as you're saying, getting position to strike for the FedEx Cup. But in saying that, also there've been a few outsiders. Hunter Mahon and Adam Scott previously have won this quite recently, but then again, so has DJ and Jason Day. So I kind of feel with the FedEx, often the first one leading into it, the guys who are in the top don't take it as seriously, even though it's big and you can get more points, but they know they've already qualified for the next week. They know they're still in good position, and it's almost like a bit of a warm-up for the next few tournaments.
I mean, those big guys know if they can come out and win one of the next two tournaments, then they pretty much guaranteed a top 5 start in the final event. And I think that means you have your destiny in your own hands. In past seasons, I don't know if it's still the same.
Yeah, I think it does work the same. So if you finish in the top 5 going into the last tournament, then if you win the tournament, you win the FedEx, regardless of how many points you got.
Right, well, before we get into the event, just quick wrap-up. Last week's Wyndham Championship, absolutely no luck for me. I was hoping to follow up on my PGA Championship success. Siwoo Kim, don't know where I found that guy, but he went missed the cut by a long, long way. And unfortunately, he was an anchor in my double as well. Yourself, any joy? You didn't back Snedeker in the end, did you?
No, so, I mean, I went for Berger as an outsider and Haas. Those were my two. Haas was a big outsider who made the cut, but finished on 5 under or so that didn't really help. And I took my double, which I took was Cabrera Bella to beat Lowry, who won easily, and I took Webb Simpson, who finished second in the tournament, but to beat Snedeker, who finished first in the tournament. So that was quite unlucky that the guy I liked finished second in the tournament and would have beaten everyone else in the field other than who I picked against.
Yeah, and I must say, I was a limited field, obviously, compared to the majors and the Buddy Golf app, but it didn't help me at all. I sort of challenged the top 10, even though I had Snedeker. There's some sharp guys who play in that because they had a number of the top players, and I think I ended up finishing 14th, which I must admit I thought having the winner I would be a lot closer to the top.
Yeah, exactly, and he was double points, so I didn't have him. I finished near the bottom, but to have the winner with double points and still come nowhere, to show that it's difficult. But it went right down to the wire, and literally the lead changed in the last few holes.
Well, if you are interested in having a bit of extra golfing excitement, then go on to buddygolf.com. You can have a look at that, or just search for it in the App Store. It really is fun. These events, which are non-majors, 250 Rand a week to enter. And then the majors, which really get some big fields and some massive prizes, it's 500 Rand to enter. So take a look at that. It really does add. I was sitting, certainly in the first couple of rounds when Snedeker was up there, watching the leaderboard quite a bit. It did become apparent to me, however, that the likes of Siwoo Kim and the points I lost on them were going to cost me in the end. Right, let's go back to the Northern Trust, though, Brad. We've got the tournament taking place at the Ridgewood Country Club. Yeah, we haven't played there since 2014, so not a lot of course form to go on.
No, not at all. I mean, I think Jason Day is probably the best when you're looking at. He's got 2 top 5s at this course, and he is a good driver of the ball, but there's a lot of rough. Just recently, he's been very erratic. But from a pure course form point of view, he's pretty much the only person I would say who's got good course form to go on.
Yeah, and he's priced at about 14 to 1 there, I see. Just running through the betting here, we got 9 to 1 Dustin Johnson, PGA champion Koepka 12 to 1, Thomas 12 to 1. I must say, I do expect a big run from him this week. Then you've got Day and Woods at 14, and the likes of Jordan Spieth, Rum, and Rose at 20 to 1. Not often you see Jordan Spieth at 20 to 1, but I guess it is justified given the problems he's been having with his putter.
Yeah, it's if his putting comes right, 20 to 1's great value. But to me, I kind of feel him. It's similar to McIlroy, that if they're not putting well, it's very hard to win. And I think, to me, one of the tipping sites actually liked Spieth and tipped him. But for me, until I see him winning again and getting his putting stroke back, I think I'm going to stay away from him. Although when he does get it back, he'll be down around the 8 to 1 mark again. But I think I'd rather take him when he's putting well. It just affects your confidence overall.
Yeah, the trick is to try and catch him just before he sort of comes out of it, but that can be a very expensive exercise now if you back the guy every week. Sure. On the other hand, and I've seen, let's wait and see how he goes, and then he wins, and of course, as you say, the price is gone. But I'm with you there. I've watched him quite closely. He made a nice run at one stage in the PGA Championship, but he just seems to be finding those wayward shots still and getting the odd double or triple or whatever, which is putting him out of contention. And I think, even at 20 to 1, I'm going to swerve him this week. Of the ones at the top of the boards, Brett, I must say that Jason Day probably appealed the most at 14 to 1. But I'm going to be taking a bit of a different strategy this week and going a bit wider. But from your side, anything at the top that you're getting involved in?
Yes, as I mentioned, Jason Day does have good course form as well as good form in Jersey. So I think I will take on him. Koepka, very interesting. He's kind of openly said he only cares about the majors. So it'll be interesting to see how much he cares about the FedEx. But I'll definitely going to be staying away from him this tournament, no matter how well he's playing. Maybe I'll be proven wrong, but I think I might go against him in a match bet. I think Day versus Koepka is one of my match bets. And I like Justin Rose, who he had a little bit of an injury a couple of weeks ago, but didn't seem to affect him that much. And he's just been up there week in, week out. So if it's not bothering him, I think he's quite a good value around about that 18 to 1 or 20 to 1 mark.
We're doing a bit of reading on the course. It seems like nothing really obvious jumps out in terms of what you're looking. I mean, at the PGA Championship, you were looking for someone who was probably long off the tee. Here, you probably need a bit of a combination. And I've read that a hot putter, which is always the case, is often useful. But there's no obvious player who sort of jumps off the page and says he's going to be perfectly course suited and needs to be backed aggressively.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, the one thing they said, the rough is going to be very thick. So I definitely would favor slightly more the driving accuracy than the driving distance on this course. So maybe looking at total driving
right
as a whole, but in greens and regulation. But the wayward hitters who hit it long, if you go long in trouble, that's not going to help.
Right, well, let's look a bit further down the list. I've got a couple of guys in mind, and I'm interested to see if we have the same players in mind on any of them, Brad. What else do you fancy this week?
So I think also Zach Johnson, round about the 50 to 1 mark. He's shown that he hasn't quite won there, but he's definitely been up there quite a few times, and he is a very consistent player. So I think 50 to 1 is quite a nice price for someone like him. And Billy Horschel at round about 66 to 1 is going to be my other outsider, who's a very straight hitter of the ball. He was up there last week, but then, up there? He was kind of in contention for a while, but just didn't quite pull it off. So I think maybe each way on him might be.
Of course, he's got an incredible FedExCup pedigree. Was it 2014 that he won the FedExCup? And he was unstoppable that particular year, although I don't think he went well, funny enough, at this course. But I was asking you if we were going to agree on anyone, and actually Horschel, I had him down on my list as well. I did see some 70 to 1 available. And he's one of those players who just does enough each week to keep you interested as a punter. I don't know if you find that as well. You're sort of on him every now and again, and he doesn't actually deliver the place money for you, but he hovers around the top 10, and you think, well, next week he's going to take. I would describe him personally as expensive to follow in recent times, but I'm also going to give him another go this week.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'll give him a chance, and then there also might be opportunity for someone like Patrick Cantlay who's also been very consistent, and he's a great driver of the ball. He's around about the 33 to 1 mark, so maybe I might look for him in some match bets. Maybe interesting also to see how Snedeker goes this week. I think I might go against Snedeker. Often, someone has like a flying week and then bombs the next week. So
yes,
or you can get streaky players. So we'll see.
Yeah, I must say Snedeker, I mean, opening with that 59 last week, even it showed again how often it happens at the second round, you can't really follow up. And he actually dropped back a little bit, although obviously in the end went pretty much wide to win the tournament. I can tell you Patrick Cantlay, I was this on WSB's site now, 45 to 1. And we definitely are thinking along the same lines, Brad, because Patrick Cantlay is my bet of the week. I like him at the 45s. I like the fact that he's long and he's straight, as you say, with a heavy rough up. That's going to prove very handy. And he's been consistent. He was top 30 in the US Open, but prior to that, I think he was coming off 3 successive top 15 finishes. And he's just generally thereabouts. But my main bet is 4 to 1 that he finishes in the top 10 at Sporting Bet, obviously with ties included. I'm going to have a bit of a go at that one, and then obviously also an interest on the 45 to 1. That top 10 market could be quite appealing for a guy of his consistency.
Yeah, absolutely. And then while it is the top players, you still also take into account 125 players compared to a normal field of 140 to 150. It means, you're taking 20-odd players out of the field. It does give you that little bit extra advantage when you're looking for a top 10 place.
Right. And anything else further down the list? Just a couple that did catch my eye. Well, I'd obviously listed Cantlay and Horschel. I have seen Ryan Moore spoken about as well. He sort of showed up last week. He was tied 6 at the Wyndham. He's also one of those players who perhaps blow a little bit hot and cold, and he might be coming into a hot streak now. I'm not sure if he can win, but at 110 to 1, I saw at World Sports Betting, you can't do too much damage.
Yeah, absolutely. I also read about him. He's also a great driver of the ball. In saying that, I also read that he hadn't made the cut at this course. So I'm not even sure. But then again, as I say, good driver of the ball. He's just hit a bit of form. You can't really go wrong at those kind of odds. So maybe, definitely worth a top 10 for him.
Right. So to sum up then on my outright plays, I'm going to be looking at Cantlay at 45 to 1. I'm having a nice go at the 4 to 1 that he finishes in the top 10, ties inclusive. A small each-way play for me, Billy Horschel at 70 to 1. And probably a very small each-way play there on Ryan Moore at 110 to 1. So that's my outrights out the way. Brad, you want to sum your outrights up?
And then so on Sporting Bet, so the each way, how many places do they pay? Because obviously you need to check that with a lot of the sites when they're paying different places.
Now the each way, I can quickly actually have a look now. We don't. I'll quickly share the screen here and go and have a look at Sporting Bet, and we can actually have a look what they are paying. Let's quickly go. Hopefully this won't take too long to show. You'll see how many websites I've got open, all betting related, of course. And if I look at Sporting Bet here, this is their tournament winner odds. I'm trusting you can see the screen, Brad.
Yes.
Okay, no, that's great. I just want to see if they make mention of the each ways. They do play top 5 in full, but that's obviously a straight place bet on a top 5, and that's where they do pay out the ties, which is quite useful. But if you're going to play each way, they normally would be sort of somewhere around quarter odds top 6, but we'd have to check that out. It's not immediate.
Quarter odds top 5. I've just got.
Which one do you want to look at?
So it says quarter odds top 5. So you've got to click on golf and then got to each way market. So it's different.
Oh, okay. So I'm sitting on the wrong page there. Okay, no, that's fine. So it's quarter odds top 5. So it is something to look. It is definitely something to look for, because this week you can, if you shop around, you're able to get probably top 6, and as you say, a relatively small field of 120.
Yeah, absolutely. So I said, so add it into yours. I'm going to have a go with Jason Day. And probably a small bet on Rose. Those are the 2 top players. and then we both liked Cantlay, we both liked Billy Horschel.
Okay, so those would be your four. Would you go each way on Day and Rose, or just put your head down and go win only?
I'm quite greedy, in which case I'll just take an outright bet on those two. I just kind of feel the 3-1 the place, it kind of helps you recover some stake, but you don't really show profit.
That's it, exactly how I feel about those as well. Normally anything under sort of 18-1, I tend to go win only because, like you say, I tend to be a bit greedy, and I'll almost rather lose the bet than when he gets pipped off, just recover a bit of stake money with a place there. And then you did mention you were eyeing out perhaps a match bet or two.
Yeah, so I like Jason Day versus Kupka. And so I just want to find you. And so
are you on FedEx? Are you looking at FedEx?
Yes. So that's 9-10 on him. And the second one, I'm looking to go against Snedeker. So I haven't actually found if someone's offering, but
right.
If you've got Cantlay and Snedeker both around about the 40-1 mark, I'm hoping to get 9-10 on Cantlay versus Snedeker. So I'm sure I'll be able to find that somewhere.
Yeah, and if you throw that into double, it's 26-10. But for now, in terms of what we know is out there, you're going Day over Kupka at 9-10.
Yeah.
Excellent. And Buddy Golf, you picked your team yet?
No, I often wait till Wednesday because they do sometimes have changes to the field, which causes havoc when you pick someone too early and then he withdraws. So I like to do a bit of reading, do the research, and then probably Wednesday evening pick my team.
And tell me, golf, I mean, I do a lot of reading when it comes to golf, because although I watch golf and I obviously got my own opinion of players, I'm amazed that these golf tipsters, the sort of detail they go into, telling you what sort of greens the guy puts well on, where he went to college, that sort of stuff. Which are your favorite, say, 2 golf tipsters out there, or guys that you follow as far as golf tipsters go?
Okay, so Dave Tyndall, I find he's very good. And Steve Rawlins, they both kind of tip for Betfair. Ben Coley, who he tips for Sporting Life, I find he also really good. And then I used to actually follow, there was a guy, Elliott Golf, who was fantastic, but he won't let you follow him for free. So
okay. So he charges for the service now.
He used to have a book which came out and literally for the whole year, which I found it brilliant for the first few tournaments, but it's very hard to tip a year in advance.
Yes.
Because you can't take current form into account if you're tipping now or next year. But he then opened a website which I followed for a while, but I think he charged it was somewhere around about 200 Rand a month or something. It was quite expensive, I thought. But if you make the money, then it's not. Then it's not expensive.
No, for sure.
But he really goes into tremendous detail about all the players, course form, current form, in the city form. Like he takes it a real lot into account. So he is really good. But as I said, he's not free. But you've got to be good if you're going to be free.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I must say the guys that you mentioned are excellent, and I follow all of them as well. Follow them on Twitter, and I go on to their previews regularly. So very, very impressive to follow those chaps. Let's just finish off, Brad. Ryder Cup coming up soon. Any early fancy for you there?
I think it's just a question of how much are America going to win by.
That bad, eh?
Yeah, I just if you look at the top players in the world, the top European players, half of them aren't even on form.
Yes, it's true.
The American guys are just way too strong, I think.
Okay, well, we'll leave it at that for now. We will definitely do a Ryder Cup show, maybe even a week or so in advance, and have a look at the teams as they're shaping up. But Brad, good punting to you this week, and also best of luck there on the Buddy Golf app.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
Excellent. Thanks, everyone, for listening to our preview of the Northern Trust Open. Remember, you can subscribe to our videos below this one. Make sure you don't miss out on any of our live broadcasts. We'll be back on Thursday with our sports betting shows for the weekend. Thanks very much, and good golfing.